If I tell you how kidney is important for our body, you may go into deep thinking about how difficult the purifying system works. You don't feel your kidneys the way you feel a headache or a sore muscle. Days keep moving. Routines stay intact. Nothing demands attention, and that's the threat. Kidney failure doesn't announce itself. It slowly removes your body's safety margin while everything still feels stable. When the body finally starts to complain, the destruction is already deep. And then recovering kidneys took much time, effort, pain, and cures. So let's talk all about our kidneys, the comfort trap. The most dangerous feeling your body can give you is comfort, not pain, not fear. Comfort. Comfort tells you nothing needs attention. Comfort lets routines repeat without question. You wake up, move through your day, handle your work, eat your meals, and everything seems steady enough to trust. That steady feeling slowly becomes proof in your mind. Proof that you're healthy. Proof that nothing serious could be happening. And while life feels ordinary on the outside, quiet changes can be unfolding deep inside the body without asking for your permission. Kidneys are especially good at hiding trouble. They don't throb. They don't sting. They don't interrupt your afternoon. They adjust. They stretch. They take on an extra load when parts of them start failing. That ability keeps you feeling normal while function is being lost. Bit by bit, year by year, filtering power shrinks. Waste lingers longer. Balance shifts slightly. The body keeps covering it up. This is why kidney failure earns the word silent. Not because nothing is happening, but because nothing is demanding your attention. The real danger is waiting for pain. Pain is late. Discomfort is late. When those finally arrive, the quiet stage is already gone. Comfort, in this case, isn't safety. It's camouflage, what your kidneys actually do. Your kidneys work every minute of your life without asking to be noticed. Every drop of blood passes through them again and again. They remove what your body no longer needs and return what must stay. Waste from food, leftovers from medicine, extra water, extra salt, acid from normal living. They don't just clean your blood, they fine-tune it so your nerves fire properly, your muscles move smoothly, and your organs stay in balance. This happens quietly, constantly, whether you are awake or asleep. What most people don't realize is how many systems depend on the kidneys. They help control blood pressure. They tell your body when to make red blood cells. They help activate vitamin D so bones stay strong. They manage minerals that keep your heart rhythm steady. When kidneys weaken, all of these systems start drifting together. Fatigue isn't just tiredness anymore. Weak bones aren't just age. Rising blood pressure isn't always about the heart. Kidneys sit underneath far more of your health than people imagine. The reason kidney damage hides so well is backup. You were born with more filtering power than daily life requires. You can lose a large portion before anything feels different. But once that reserve is gone, there is no second shift, no regeneration, no replacement. Loss stops being quiet. It becomes permanent. How kidney failure really begins. Kidney failure rarely begins with collapse. It usually starts small and slow. Inside each kidney are about 1 million tiny filters. Over time, things like high blood sugar, high blood pressure, repeated dehydration, and chemical stress scar those filters. One stops working, then another. The remaining ones stretch and work harder to cover the loss. They succeed for a long time. That success is what hides the damage. Some kidney failure is sudden. Severe infections, major injuries, or certain poisons can shut the kidneys down quickly. That kind of failure scares people and sends them to hospitals. But most kidney failure isn't dramatic. It is chronic. It grows over the years. Diabetes thickens blood vessels little by little. Blood pressure batters delicate tissue day after day. Long-term painkiller use reduces blood flow. Extreme routines strain filtration again and again. None of this feels urgent in the moment. All of it compounds. Years matter more than weeks. A bad month rarely destroys kidneys. 10 quiet years can. And because those tiny filters don't have pain sensors, early damage creates no clear sensation. There is no warning feeling, no reliable discomfort, just a gradual loss being covered by what still works. That is why early kidney damage rarely announces itself. The body feels stable while its margin for stability is shrinking. And now let's talk about the fake signs of being okay. One of the most misleading parts of kidney trouble is how normal you can feel. Energy can stay decent. Appetite can stay familiar. Your days can still function. You can laugh, work, plan, and move without anything screaming for attention. That happens because your body is excellent at protecting daily life. When kidneys start slipping, other systems quietly adjust. Chemical levels shift, fluid balance changes, hormones adapt, the surface stays calm. So, in your mind, nothing feels serious enough to question. The signs people expect usually take a long time. Heavy swelling, deep nausea, crushing fatigue, and major appetite loss tend to show up later. For a long while, waste can build slowly without making you feel sick. Fluids can shift without obvious swelling. Blood chemistry can drift without creating strong discomfort. So most people judge their health by one thing: how they feel. If they can still function, they assume they are fine. But kidneys don't measure health by feeling, they measure it by balance. And when the day finally comes that symptoms are impossible to ignore, the quiet phase has already ended. What shows up then is rarely the beginning. It is usually what follows years of silence. The first real warnings people ignore. When kidneys start sending signals, they rarely look serious. They look annoying. Easy to explain, easy to brush off. Urine may turn foamy, but most people blame soap or water pressure. You may start waking up at night to use the bathroom and assume it is stress, age, or drinking something late. Blood pressure creeps higher and gets treated like a normal part of getting older. None of this feels like organ trouble, so none of it feels urgent. Other changes drift in quietly. Food doesn't interest you the same way. Skin feels drier. Focus isn't as sharp. Muscles cramp at night. You feel colder than usual. Breath can carry a strange edge. These signs don't form a clear picture. They feel disconnected. And because life is busy, they get explained away. Work, sleep, dehydration, anxiety. Everyone has a reason ready. The real cost comes from how long those reasons are allowed to stand. Each ignored sign often represents more lost filters, more lost backup, more lost time. Kidneys rarely shout, they hint. And hints only help if someone takes them seriously. What too late actually looks like. Late discovery doesn't usually feel like an emergency. It feels like a new way of living. Dialysis becomes a schedule. Hours connected to a machine that cleans the blood because the body can no longer. Multiple days each week. Energy rising and falling around treatments. Food and fluid are turning into numbers. Planning life around access to care. This is not healing. It is survival support. Transplants offer hope, but not simplicity. Waiting lists are long. Not everybody qualifies. Not every surgery works. And even after a successful transplant, medication becomes lifelong. Monitoring never stops. The kidney's absence doesn't stay isolated either. The heart works harder. Blood pressure becomes harder to control. Anemia drains strength. Bones thin. Nerves misfire. The entire system becomes easier to disturb. Late-stage kidney failure changes health into a management. It replaces freedom with planning. It turns prevention into something that could have mattered years earlier. This is what too late really means. Not the end of life, the loss of options. Who is quietly at risk doesn't always look like illness. Very often it looks like normal life. Diabetes slowly changes the blood. High blood pressure steadily strains tiny vessels. Together, they cause most long-term kidney failure, not rare diseases, common ones, everyday ones. Pain relievers used for years reduce blood flow inside the kidneys. Some antibiotics and imaging dyes add chemical stress. Repeated dehydration thickens the blood and overworks filtration. Extreme routines load the kidneys again and again. Family history matters, but it isn't required. Some kidneys are born more fragile, others are shaped by habit. What surprises many people is how often kidney disease grows inside people who consider themselves healthy, active, productive, rarely in clinics. People who never get sick often skip testing because nothing feels wrong. Their strength becomes the reason nothing gets checked. The tests that see what you can't feel. Kidneys don't reveal themselves through feelings. They show themselves through numbers. A simple blood test can measure creatinine and estimate how much filtering power remains. A urine test can detect protein leaking through damaged filters long before symptoms form. Blood pressure readings reveal strain that both harms the kidneys and comes from them. Imaging can show size, scarring, or blockage. None of these requires pain. None of them requires sickness. What makes these tests powerful is timing. Early discovery changes the future. Blood pressure control protects the remaining filters. Blood sugar control reduces chemical injury. Medication changes remove hidden stress. Hydration habits support blood flow. Progression can often be slowed for many years, sometimes for decades. Simple tests save organs because they interrupt silence. They replace guessing with knowing. They give you a chance to act while tissue still exists to protect. Kidneys rarely demand attention. These tests speak for them. Protecting kidneys before they beg for help. Protection doesn't start when something goes wrong. It starts when nothing feels wrong. Kidneys respond best to steady habits, not emergency reactions. Water keeps blood moving smoothly through them and prevents waste from concentrating. This is not about forcing gallons. It is about not living in a constant state of mild dehydration. Blood pressure discipline matters more than most people realize. High pressure quietly tears at tiny vessels inside the kidneys every day. Blood sugar stability matters the same way. Sugar does not just affect energy. It reshapes blood chemistry and scars delicate filters over time. Medication respect is another quiet form of protection. Painkillers, supplements, and harmless remedies all pass through the kidneys. What you take occasionally is different from what you take for years. Food choices influence how hard the kidneys must work. Excess salt pushes pressure upward. Poor balance increases waste load. None of this needs perfection. It needs awareness. Kidneys are not offended by living. They are shaped by it. The real power is early correction. Kidney decline speeds up as function drops. The less reserve that remains, the faster damage spreads. Small changes made early protect years of function. Waiting removes that leverage. Most kidney protection never feels dramatic. It lives in checkups, in numbers, in small adjustments that never make headlines, but quietly preserve independence. Listening before the body screams. Silence feels comforting. It makes you trust what is happening inside you. But kidneys reveal something uncomfortable about the human body. Things can be going wrong long before they feel wrong. I feel fine is an experience, not a measurement. You can function well while balance is drifting, filters are scarring, and reserves are shrinking. By the time the body creates discomfort strong enough to interrupt your life, the conversation has already changed. It is no longer about protection, it is about how much can be preserved. Delayed awareness costs options. It trades simple corrections for permanent routines. It replaces curiosity with dependency. It turns organs into schedules. None of that happens suddenly. It grows from the assumption that silence means safety. Organs do not negotiate, they adjust, then they fail, and they do both without emotion. Strength in this space is not endurance, it is attention. It is choosing to look before damage forces you to. It is respecting work you cannot feel but cannot live without. Listening before the body screams is not fear. It is intelligence, it is self-respect, and it is the one language kidneys truly respond to. So that's all from us today. Hope you find this video informative, and now press the like and subscribe buttons, which help us to make more informative videos about your health. Thanks for watching and giving us your valuable time.